All right, what's going on, everybody? Rob Satcham here, Feedbackwrench. There's kind of three types of content that have been taken off on my channel. One of them is teaching people how to do and how to create or start a bookkeeping, accounting, and tax firm. The next one has been how to do, decide whether or not you should be an LLC or an S Corp, and then how to handle that. And then the third thing has been just small business SEO and tips. And I'm having so much fun. I'm getting so many requests. Our business is really succeeding, but I want to help more on this, how to start your own bookkeeping business. In particular, it seems like a lot of people are looking to start their own bookkeeping, tax, accounting firm. So I'm hearing from bookkeepers that want to do like a work from home type of thing, but primarily I'm hearing from people that are accounting students. And if that's you, if you're an accounting student, this video is for you. And here's the bottom line. I'd like you to go back. I've got about 4 core videos right now that are talking about how do you build a successful tax and accounting firm, or how do you set yourself up to be an entrepreneur? Because let's face it, when you're an accountant, you have a decision. You're either going to go into corporate tax and work for a corporation, a company. You could even be there's all sorts of, you don't need me to tell you, or you're going to start your own business. You're either going to go work for a little small firm, you're going to work in a big corporation, you're going to work in a big tax agency, maybe the Big Four, or you're going to start your own business. And I really think that there's so much opportunity to start your own business, but it's not about just starting your own business, folks, okay? I'm not like the multi-level marketers that are going to tell you, oh, you can be free and everything's a write-off and work for yourself, be your own boss, boss girl, boss man. No, that's not what this is about. This is about finding where high impact activity can support high ROI activity. So basically, you helping a business owner produce more profits is a great investment for the business owner and a great investment for yourself. You can go in and you can help in a major way. You can make a very meaningful career out of being what I call an outsourced accountant. Okay, now watch the other videos, but at the core of it is that you come alongside a small business owner. This is where I think all the opportunity is. So this is anybody that earns 1099 income, any small business owner. They can even be larger business owners, and you're gonna do 3 core things. One, you're gonna help them mitigate their taxes, do everything to pay their fair share and not a penny more. The second thing is you're gonna provide services, their bookkeeping, their accounting, running their payroll, and actually doing the administrative work for them, primarily bookkeeping and running payroll, so that they don't have to hire somebody. And then the last thing is you're going to keep them compliant by making sure that everything's done right. Process their tax return correctly, process their payroll correctly, make sure that their schedules are done properly. And if you do those things, you're going to be able to earn a high monthly retainer. In this video, though, what I want to talk about is, if you're a student, if you're an accounting student at a major university, or maybe you're getting an accounting and bookkeeping or tax certificate of some type, I want to tell you the core functions you need to learn so that you can make a huge impact and be able to start your own business. Because here's the fact of the matter. You're in there learning your T-charts, you're learning accounting, you're learning how to understand the fundamentals of accounting, and that's critically important. That is the principal thinking that will guide you, but you need to have very practical skills. And I'm going to take one step back. Always, this business comes down to 2 things. 1, get sales. 2, execute. Sales is where you set the expectation to a business owner that you're going to solve a problem, meet a need, meet a desire. And then execution is that you do what it is that you said you do. So remember, there's always 2 parts to this. We're going to be talking about only execution. And what I want to do is I want to tell you, how do you get in position so that you can do this more meaningful outsourced accounting model rather than just being a tax firm. You can't be in the tax return business. That's nonsense. You can't be in just the bookkeeping business. That's nonsense. You can't just process payroll. That's nonsense. You will earn hefty monthly retainers because you will be an alternative to an employee. You will put money back in their pocket and you will help solve problems if you bundle those together as this outsourced accountant model. Now, I want to show you exactly what you need to learn and what you need to do so that you're in position to do this. You are scared to do things you're not sure of. You're not sure how to process a tax return. That's probably the number one thing that most of you are thinking. You are learning about accounting, but you've never gone in and actually filed a tax return. You're terrified of the different tax return forms there are, and you don't understand the IRS and the state laws. There's a solution for that. What you need to do is you need to go on, and we'll have links in the description here, but there's two things I want you to do. One, I want you to get certified, and you can become an enrolled agent, you can become a CPA, but there's actually some basic courses and hoops you can jump through with the IRS so that you can actually learn how to do a tax return, and you can get approval to file a tax return for profit. That's the first step. Now here's what I would recommend. When you do tax returns, you're going to be using a piece of software, and here's the dirty little secret, right? This is part of why you don't want to be in the tax return business, because the tax return business is one AI algorithm away from absolutely disappearing. If you're only doing tax returns, doggone it, H&R Block, there are, if you remember that Super Bowl commercial, they already are using AI. They're using IBM Watson. And I tell you what, boy, we're close to just this software doing it all for you. But you need to learn these pieces of software. I think the foundations for you to run your own little shop, I think that Intuit, okay? Learning the Intuit, which is QuickBooks Online. They have Lacert, they have Intuit Pro Advisor. You can become an Intuit Pro Advisor. The first thing I would do is go on the learning path, go on to Intuit's Pro Advisor platform and go through their training so that you can learn how to actually use their software. Intuit has TurboTax, it has their professional grade software that you can do to file taxes. It's very easy. That's the number one thing you should do. Go jump in through the Intuit learning processes and training processes and get your certification to become a Intuit Pro Advisor, okay? QuickBooks Pro Advisor is what it's called, okay? Go learn that. Learn QuickBooks Online, because when you're doing the bookkeeping and accounting, that's what you're gonna do. The second piece of software that you might want to look at and you may consider is Drake. Drake tends to be the software that will support a much bigger, like basically your wholesale costs, the internal costs come down on Drake compared to Thomson Reuters. Thomson Reuters is for big firms. That's going to be the third one. So you've got Drake and Thomson Reuters. I tell you what, contact them. Tell them you want to learn the software so that you could be a RESA. You want to be a trained accountant. They have training modules. If you go in and learn those three, but I really think the Intuit products are probably going to serve you best. And then Drake can be a really good solution. If you just learn that and then you get your required hoops jumped through so that you can actually perform and do tax returns, that's going to be really helpful. But that's the first set of skills you need. You need to learn how to do tax returns. If you want experience so that you know what you're doing, I want to caution you here. If you're at college and in your accounting program and you like the idea of starting your own business, go work part-time or just seasonal at a tax firm. There are CPAs all over the place, and just say, hey, I want to get experience filing taxes. I'd love to add value. Work me like a dog. Let's do this, and go get a part-time job. However, CPAs and bookkeepers, or CPAs and tax professionals, have horrible habits that you don't want to pick up. So I would caution you into thinking that you need to go to another firm to learn how it's done. Sometimes the bad habits you're going to get are going to outweigh the positive confidence you get from seeing it processed. Because remember, all that needs to happen is once you see how it's done and you get 10, 15, 20 tax returns finalized and you have somebody nodding their head saying you did that correctly, you'll be confident, you'll be ready to go and sell it. That's the first step. Here's the second skill that I want you to really focus on. I would learn how to do bookkeeping in specific softwares, okay? So I already mentioned that QuickBooks Online and the QuickBooks Pro Advisor is probably the most powerful tool. I think that's what you should focus on. That being said, Xero, Xero, is a great accounting software. And then you've got Gusto and some of these other brands. I would find the top 3 brands that you see out there right now. Really, it's Xero, Gusto, and QuickBooks Online. They're usually a bookkeeping program mixed with a payroll program. We'll get there next. But I want you to learn how to actually operate in that software and how to do the bookkeeping. I would just do the QuickBooks Pro Advisor. Here's the third thing I want you to learn. I want you to learn how to process payroll. Now, the payroll processing that you need to learn how to do is going to be a little bit more difficult because that means you're putting your hands into a very important machine. Payroll is what takes money out of the business and puts it into people's bank accounts, which is how they pay their mortgage, their car, and their grocery bill. You screw that sucker up, you mess up people's lives and you will tick off your customers, okay? But you need to learn how payroll is processed. You need to learn how the 940, 941s need to be processed. You have to understand how that works. I think that the two major players that will help equip you, and I think if you want to be an above and beyond accounting student, you really want to get set up for success, I would contact your regional rep for ADP, and then I would dive into the Intuit payroll training. So I think the two most dominant players are ADP and Intuit payroll, okay? If you were to contact your ADP rep, there's a regional rep, they're a high protein salesperson, they have support staff. They would be able to show you, you don't want to waste their time because they're trying to make money, right? But you could contact them and say, hey, here's the deal. I'm an accounting student. I'd like to learn ADP. Will you show me how do I learn how to run ADP? And they're going to show you some of the basics. I would also just jump through the front gates of ADP's training courses and maybe find somebody that does ADP and you could start helping them a little bit. If you understand ADP payroll, you're going to be in a position to win either as your own small business owner or even at a bigger firm. The second thing that you could do is you could go through Intuit Payroll. Intuit Payroll with Intuit's bookkeeping, QuickBooks Online, along with their tax programs, can be a very good little suite for a small business owner. I think most of the people that you work with should be on QuickBooks Online, so it makes sense for you to use the Intuit Payroll. So Intuit Payroll is not complex. Jump in, contact Intuit and say, hey, I need to learn how to do Intuit Payroll. Go watch their online video training. Take it upon yourself. Go figure it out. I don't know exactly the link. I'm not going to put the link in the description. Go figure it out. You're a student. Find out how to process Intuit Payroll, and you're going to have success. Okay, that's just the bottom line. All right, so that's the first three. Here's the fourth set of skill that you need to have. I want you to learn how to do proactive tax planning. Okay, and proactive tax planning, if you watch my other videos, comes down to helping business owners and small entrepreneurs pay their fair share in taxes and not a penny more. You need to help them take advantage of everything that's there so that they can put more money in their pocket, they can hire more people, they can get their kids taken care of, help them out. I think there are three major areas that you are able to impact taxes heavily, okay? The first one is an entity type consulting, helping them choose an LLC as a sole proprietor versus an S corporation. That tax, go watch my other videos, that's a major decision for a small business to make. The second one is going to be in retirement planning. So retirement plan, like 401ks, SEP IRAs, simple IRAs. Okay, that's the second area. And then the third area is in real estate or starting to own depreciable real estate assets, whether that's they invest in real estate. It could be multi-family or multi-unit homes that provide income. It could be that they have one LLC own their office and then their S corporation rents from them. If you get into real estate, that's where all of the sweet deals for depreciation are. Okay, and then I'd say that the fourth is understanding the modern tax laws, right? So understanding the Tax Cut and Jobs Act, bonus depreciation, the QBI deduction, the 20% deduction of business income that came with the Tax Cut and Jobs Act. So let's back this up a little bit. I want you to buy a book by Sandy Botkin. B as in boy, O, T as in Tom, K-I-N, Botkin. He comes out with a book every year that has to do with small business owners saving in taxes. You need to read that inside and out. The second one I want you to do, buy everything that Mark Kohler, K-O-H-L-E-R, Mark Kohler writes. And you need to read everything that he's put out there. The second thing that I want you to, or the third resource I want you to read is I want you to read Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad, Poor Dad, or understand the cash flow quadrant, okay? That's a ton of vision that's very important when it comes to what you're going to be doing, because essentially you want to get people as investors and business owners, and that's going to help them save in taxes, right? The next thing that I want you to do is there's a guy named Tom Wheeler, and in the Rich Dad, Poor Dad books, they're purple books, they have, it's called Tax-Free Wealth and the Tax Loopholes of Real Estate. Tax-Free Wealth and the Tax Loopholes of Real Estate. You read those books, you're going to understand tax planning big time. And then lastly, I would encourage you to start looking into understanding the fees and how the investment world works. And I think reading the stuff that John Bogle, B-O-G-L-E, who is the founder of Vanguard Investments, read what he's written about index funds, low-cost index funds, because at minimum, if you help people be wise with that, that's going to be good. And then here's my final resource. I think you should read Dave Ramsey's book, The Total Money Makeover, his 7 baby steps. If you can help implement those things in people's lives, that's tax planning, that's wealth planning, that's investment planning, you're going to be equipped to do some amazing things. That's where you should focus, guys. Learn how to do taxes, learn how to do bookkeeping, learn the software that runs those, learn the actual payroll companies, learn ADP and Intuit Payroll, and then you go in and you learn some tax planning. You're going to learn that from reading the Rich Dad, Poor Dad books, Tax-Free Wealth, Tax Loopholes of Real Estate, Sandy Botkin's books, and Mark Kohler's books. Good luck, guys. You can really hit it hard and make a great living and help your communities. Good luck.